everyone, welcome. My name is Anna. So I started my tomatoes on January 14th. I was about a week late. I already transplanted everything I had in this tray about like 5 days ago, and I had some leftovers, so I thought I show you what I been doing to repot my seedlings. So here I have different stages of tomatoes. Some of them were started before others and stuff like that. That's why they're different heights. So here I have what I think is the perfect height, the perfect leaf size to transplant to another pot. Now here, this one I will wait a little bit longer. This one was started on the 24th of January, so it can be there a little bit longer, and then I will transplant. I just want more leafy growth, and this one I will definitely wait. It's very small. Some of them are very lanky because, like I said, I already transplanted the other ones, and my grow tent is packed full of other stuff. I couldn't fit this in there, so I took it out and it's just by the window. That's why this one's a little lanky. It's trying to reach for the sky. The very first thing that I do when transplanting my tomatoes, I try to be gentle when I take them out. Well, wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. The very first thing that I do is definitely make the labels for whatever I'm gonna transplant. So I just go one by one and see which one needs to be transplanted, and then I make the little tag. This will help me keep everything in order, because every year I somehow tag them like wrong, and I end up in the garden with the same tomato type instead of, the one that I wanted to grow, or so first thing is label the ones that you want to transplant. So here, this one was early treat tomato. I don't have a tag for that one, so let me just make one real quick. I don't like using the same ones that I had in the tray, because since they've been in contact with the soil, the water and stuff like that, the ink starts to wear off. So I want to make sure that I get a good visual of the name. And I really don't worry about the date that I'm doing the transplant. You can add the date, but from here on, pretty much once they have a good size, which in about 2-3 weeks, they are gonna start going outside. Now that we have our tag ready, this is the little cup that I'm gonna be using. I used to use the plastic cups for years and years, and they do really work, but I felt like I was using a lot of soil in the cups, which is okay for the tomato to have plenty of space to grow. But since I didn't want to leave them in the pot for that long, it was just a waste of soil when they can just go in the garden. So this is what I'm using, and I find it just the perfect size for them. So now the soil, I use Happy Frog soil. It's a potting soil, and I find it to be perfect for my seedlings. I have tried so many potting soils, and so far this one works amazing with my seedlings. I saw a big change in my plants when I started using this soil. So at this point, I do not water yet. I just create a little hole all the way down. Depending on the size of the little plant. And then I will sprinkle a tiny little bit of azomite. Just a little sprinkle. You don't want to use too much of that stuff. And then put it aside. And then I'm gonna go for my tomato. So to be very honest, I usually, like if the soil is wet enough, I usually just pull the tomato. You know, if it feels like it's gonna come out easy. Or I just use the little tool that came in my little baggie. And then I just remove some of the soil. And then we just put it in. I do like to remove their little, the bottom leaves. They have a name. I don't know how to say it. Something like cotyledon, something like that. But yeah, so we just push all the way in. I mean, usually they go easy, but this one doesn't want to go in easy. And here you go. And then we just like push the soil a little bit. Give it a little tap. Make sure we put the tag on. And that one is ready to go. That is super easy. So we do it all over again. I always make sure that is like that I push it. That way whenever I pour water on it, it doesn't go down. That way I have enough soil. Then we do it again. We make a little hole. We used a tiny little pinch of this azomite. You don't have to do this, use this stuff, but I have it, so I've been using it. It just helps the roots to grow healthy. It's just a mineral. It helps develop healthy roots. That's what I was trying to say. Okay, so we have tomato. You just pull it out. Just gonna get rid of the extra soil. I mean, you don't have to get rid of the extra soil. You can just leave it. I do like to remove the bottom leaves because I want the plant to go as deep as possible because it's gonna be growing, and I want it to have I want the plant to have sturdiness when it grows. There you go. Well, this one didn't go as deep as I wanted it, but it's okay. We get the point. There is the second one. And we just keep going. I find it so relaxing to do. I like doing it either early in the morning whenever the kids are asleep, and I can just sit there and enjoy my plants, or at night whenever they went to bed, and I can have some time to have a snack and repot some plants. Here we go. Just a little bit. We don't want to overdo it. And then let's transplant this one. What was it? That was blush tomato. I really like these trays. I mean, to be very, very honest, they don't really last that long. I've had them for least 2-3 years. I think 3 years by now. And the bottom is kind of breaking a little bit, but they are very handy. And then we just put it all the way in, and then I just push the soil around it. And then we have a tag. Now, I like to keep 2 tomatoes of each one that I'm growing, just in case if one doesn't really like going outside and it starts getting all sad or some kind of disease gets on it. That way I have a backup. So I already have some in the grow tent. And let's do another one. Okay, so now that the tomatoes are in their new pot, we are gonna put them in a tray. And this is where they're gonna stay until they go in the garden. So what I do, I just top water. This will be the first and last time that I water them from the top, just so I can settle the soil around the roots. I don't like top watering my seedlings because I don't want any soil getting on the stems or the leaves. So doing bottom water is the best for little tomatoes. So we just do this, and then I'm just gonna fill it up with water. And then just let the soil absorb the water from the bottom up. So after the plant sits in the water for about 10 minutes, I will drain whatever water is left on the tray. And then my plants go in the grow tent, and in about a week, maybe 2, I will add some fertilizer to my plants. I will fertilize them. This is the one that I use, is Fox Farm Grow Big. And yeah, I've been using it forever. This is the second bottle since I started gardening. So, I mean, it lasts a long time. And I will add about a little cap to a gallon of water. But I like to water my seedlings with something like this that has a long neck. It makes it easier to water in between the pots instead of, you know, with a big nozzle. I just don't want to get any water on top of my plants and create disease. So yeah, I think, oh, and something very important. Keep a log for watering, fertilizing, keeping notes on when you started your seedlings, up-potting them. It's gonna help you a lot learning, you know, what you did and what worked and what doesn't, especially because you have waited so long for these little babies to grow, and then to just drown them with love, too much water or not enough water. That'd be really sad. So keeping a log with watering really helps. So I will definitely recommend you doing that, because I've done it before. I just go and check my babies every day, and I'm like, oh, she needs some water, and then I add more water and add more water, and then it just dies because I love it too much. So yeah, I think that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.